What if 2026 is the year you finally become unstoppable? What if this is the year everything changes, not because the world around you changes, but because you do? What if this is the year you stop letting fear, doubt, and other people's opinions dictate the direction of your life? What if this is the year you finally say, enough? I was not born to be average. I was not created to live in the shadows of my own potential. You see, most people live their entire lives waiting for the right time, waiting for a sign, waiting for permission, waiting for perfect conditions that will never come. They keep saying, one day I'll do it. But here's the truth, one day is a lie. There's only today. There's only right now. And if you don't act on your dreams now, the world will move on without ever knowing who you truly could have been. Let me tell you something, life will never hand you the perfect setup. Life will test you. It will throw storms at you. It will break you down just to see if you have the courage to stand back up. And many people give up right before the breakthrough. They give up when it hurts the most, not realizing that pain is not punishment, pain is preparation. Every challenge you faced, every disappointment, every tear, every sleepless night, it wasn't there to destroy you. It was there to strengthen you, to refine you, to make you unstoppable. There was a man who once hit rock bottom, lost his job, his home, and nearly lost his hope. He slept in his car, not knowing where his next meal would come from. But every morning he'd wake up, look at himself in the mirror, and say, "This is not how my story ends." And that's what I want you to say to yourself right now. Because the truth is, your situation does not define you. Your struggle does not define you. Your comeback does. You might be down, but you're not out. You might be tired, but you're still breathing, and as long as you're breathing, you have a shot to rewrite your story. I remember talking to a young woman who said, "I've been trying for years, and nothing seems to work. Maybe I'm not meant to make it." I looked her in the eye and said, "You've been planting seeds in the dark. Just because you can't see them growing doesn't mean they aren't." You see, some of you are in a season of planting right now. You're putting in the work, showing up every day, doing your best, and it feels like no one notices. But your harvest is coming. Your time is coming. The universe rewards persistence. It rewards those who keep showing up even when no one claps for them. Stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're enough. You are enough. You were enough from the moment you took your first breath. The only permission you need to succeed is your own. Stop trying to prove them wrong. Start proving yourself right. The moment you decide that your life has value, that your dream matters, that you were created for more, that's the moment the world begins to shift in your favor. Now, let me ask you, what have you allowed to hold you back? Fear, failure, the opinions of people who aren't even living their own dreams. You have greatness inside you. I'm not saying that as a cliche. I'm saying that as a truth that has been buried under years of doubt, rejection, and disappointment. You were born with potential that's waiting to be activated, but it won't unlock itself. You've got to dig deep. You've got to be willing to face the mirror and confront your excuses, because your excuses are seductive. They sound reasonable, but they will rob you of your destiny. There's a version of you that's already strong enough, smart enough, and brave enough to live the life you dream about, but you'll never meet that version if you keep settling for comfort. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Growth lives in discomfort. Growth lives in the moments when you feel like giving up but choose to keep going. Growth happens when you push through the pain and say, "This may hurt, but I'm not quitting." Let me tell you something powerful. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need you. You just need one more try, one more step, one more ounce of faith. Because sometimes all it takes is one more push to turn the impossible into possible. You've come too far to give up now. You've survived things that would have broken most people. You've endured storms that others couldn't handle. So don't you dare let your past convince you that you're not worthy of a better future. Maybe 2025 wasn't your year. Maybe it broke you, humbled you, brought you to your knees. But maybe that's exactly what you needed, because sometimes you have to lose everything that's not you to discover who you truly are. The pain you went through wasn't a curse. It was a calling. It was life preparing you for what's coming next. And what's coming next, my friend, is greater than anything you've lost. So, what if 2026 is the year you stop talking about it and start being about it? What if this is the year you take the risk, you chase the dream, you silence the fear, and you unleash the power within you that's been waiting far too long? What if this is the year you stop saying someday and start saying today? This could be the year you step into your greatness, the year you stop shrinking to fit in, the year you stop apologizing for wanting more, the year you stop settling for what's safe and start reaching for what's yours. Because you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. You get what you believe you deserve. You have everything you need already inside you, the courage, the strength, the fire, the faith. It's been there all along, waiting for you to remember who you are. Don't wait for the world to tell you it's your time. Declare it, claim it, walk like it's already yours. Because the moment you decide that 2026 is your year, that's the moment you become unstoppable. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, start now, because one day is a lie. How many dreams have died waiting for the right time? How many talents have faded into silence because someone kept saying, "I'll do it later"? There is no perfect moment, no magical alignment of stars, no divine tap on the shoulder that says, "Now is the time." The only time you have is right now. Waiting for perfect conditions is another way of saying you're afraid to begin. It's the disguise fear wears to keep you comfortable, to make you believe that hesitation is wisdom when in truth, it's the slow death of possibility. Every dream demands action, not just intention. You can plan, prepare, and visualize all you want, but at some point you have to move. You have to take that first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. The truth is, you will never feel fully ready. Readiness is not something you wait for. It's something you create by starting. When you begin, clarity comes. When you move, momentum builds. When you act, the path reveals itself. But if you keep waiting, you'll be standing in the same spot a year from now, wishing you had started today. Think about it, every person who ever achieved greatness began in uncertainty. They didn't know if they'd succeed. They didn't have guarantees. They didn't have all the answers. What they had was courage, the courage to start before they felt ready, the courage to move despite fear, the courage to believe that progress was possible even in the unknown. You don't have to be fearless to start. You just have to be willing. Fear will always be there. Doubt will whisper in your ear. But if you wait for those voices to disappear, you'll be waiting forever. Life rewards those who take action, not those who sit on the sidelines analyzing every move. You can't think your way into success, you have to work your way into it. You can't wish your way into your dream, you have to walk your way into it, step by step, choice by choice. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or resources. It's action. It's the willingness to take imperfect steps toward a vision that no one else can see but you. So many people convince themselves that they'll start when things calm down, when the kids are older, when they save enough money, when they feel more confident. But those whens never end. Life will always have noise, obstacles, and chaos. The world will never slow down long enough for your dream to feel convenient. You have to carve out your own time, your own space, your own moment, because no one is going to hand it to you. The longer you wait, the heavier regret becomes. And regret, my friend, weighs more than failure ever will. You don't need to have it all figured out to start. You just need to start where you are with what you have. Begin messy, begin scared, begin unsure. But begin. Every master was once a beginner who decided to stop waiting. Every success story started with a moment of decision, the moment someone said, "I'm done waiting, I'm going for it." The small, imperfect actions you take today will build the confidence you crave tomorrow. Momentum doesn't come before action, it comes because of it. Think about how much time you've already lost waiting for ideal circumstances. Time doesn't stop. Opportunities don't pause. The world keeps moving, and if you don't move with it, you fall behind. You can't rewrite yesterday, but you can shape today. You can't control what's already past, but you can control how you respond now. The dream you keep postponing is still waiting for you, but it won't wait forever. At some point, the window closes not because life punishes you, but because time favors the doers. There's power in starting before you're ready. It builds resilience. It teaches adaptability. It shows you that progress is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Each day you take action, you build momentum, and momentum is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. You don't need everything to be right to move forward. You need the right mindset. A mindset that says, "I'll figure it out as I go. I'll learn on the way. I'll trust myself enough to take the leap." Don't let fear disguise itself as logic. Don't let overthinking rob you of opportunity. The people who make a difference in this world are not the ones who wait for the perfect conditions. They're the ones who create them. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. Because there will never be a better moment than this one, right here, right now. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation for your breakthrough. Too many people run from pain, not realizing it's the very thing shaping them for what's next. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every failure carries a lesson that cannot be learned any other way. Pain isn't there to destroy you, it's there to develop you. It's the sculptor's chisel that carves out the stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself. When life hurts, it's not rejecting you, it's refining you. Every scar tells a story of survival, of lessons learned, of battles fought, and won in silence when no one was watching. When you go through hard times, it's easy to think, "Why me?" But the real question should be, what is this trying to teach me? Because nothing in life happens by accident. Every struggle carries a seed of strength, but it's up to you to find it. You see, the strongest people aren't the ones who have had it easy, they're the ones who have been tested. They've been through the fire, but they didn't burn, they came out purified. Pain introduces you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. It forces you to grow, to stretch, to become something greater than you were before. There was a time when you thought you couldn't make it through something, but look at you now. You did. You're still standing. That means pain didn't break you, it built you. The very thing you thought was meant to destroy you was actually preparing you for the next level of your life. Sometimes you must go through the dark to appreciate the light. Sometimes you have to lose what you thought you needed to discover what truly matters. Pain has a way of stripping away everything superficial until all that's left is truth, and in that truth you find power. We all want growth, but we don't want the process that comes with it. We want strength, but we don't want to lift the weight. We want wisdom, but we don't want to face the situations that force us to learn. Growth always comes with pain because it requires change, and change is never comfortable. But comfort never created greatness. The very pressure you're trying to escape is the same pressure that's molding you into who you were destined to become. A diamond is only formed through extreme heat and pressure. Without that process, it would remain just a piece of coal. When life hits hard, It's not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're being stretched for something greater. You don't grow in easy seasons. You grow when you're forced to dig deep, when you have to rely on faith, when quitting seems easier than continuing. That's when you build endurance. That's when your character takes shape. That's when your vision becomes sharper, your heart becomes stronger, and your purpose becomes clearer. The pain you feel now is the path to the strength you'll carry later. Don't curse the pain, embrace it. Study it. Ask yourself, what is this preparing me for? Every storm you survive adds a layer of resilience to your spirit. Every heartbreak opens space for deeper compassion. Every setback gives you a greater appreciation for the comeback. Pain teaches you empathy, patience, and perseverance, things that no comfort zone could ever provide. Without struggle, success has no meaning. Without failure, victory has no flavor. You need both sides of the journey to truly grow. There's something powerful that happens when you stop resisting the struggle and start trusting it. When you realize that pain is not the enemy, it's the instructor. Every time you rise after being knocked down, you strengthen a muscle that will serve you in future battle. Life is not trying to break you, it's trying to prepare you for what you asked for. You prayed for strength, so life gave you challenges. You prayed for patience, so life gave you delays. You prayed for growth, so life gave you discomfort. Every answer comes wrapped in a test, and only those who persist unwrap the reward. So when you find yourself in the middle of chaos, when everything seems uncertain, when it feels like the weight is too much to bear, remind yourself that you're being prepared. You're being molded for a higher purpose. Pain is the universe's way of sharpening your edges so that when your moment comes, you're ready. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You don't need validation from others, the only permission you need is your own. Too many people spend their entire lives waiting for someone to tell them they're good enough, smart enough, talented enough, worthy enough to chase their dreams. They let other people's opinions weigh more than their own belief, and in doing so, they hand over control of their destiny. The truth is, no one is coming to save you, no one is coming to crown you, no one is going to grant you permission to become who you were meant to be. That power has always belonged to you. You were born with it. You just forgot how to use it because the world taught you to seek approval before action. From the moment you were a child, you were taught to ask for permission. You learned to wait for a nod, a yes, a sign that it was okay to move forward. But that conditioning doesn't serve your dreams. Dreams are not polite. Dreams don't wait for approval. Dreams demand courage, and courage doesn't need permission. The people who accomplish great things are not necessarily the most talented or the most educated. They're the ones who stopped waiting for validation. They looked within, decided they were enough, and took action. That's the difference between those who talk about changing their lives and those who actually do it. Validation is a trap because it keeps you small. It keeps you chasing likes, praise, and recognition, thinking that if others approve of you, you must be on the right path. But what happens when they don't? What happens when no one claps, when no one sees your effort, when no one believes in what you're doing? Do you stop? Or do you move anyway? If you need applause to keep going, you'll never make it far, because the world doesn't always cheer for people who are rising. In fact, the higher you climb, the more resistance you'll face. That's why your validation must come from within. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see someone waiting for others to notice their potential, or do you see someone ready to claim it? You can't afford to let the opinions of others define your worth. People will doubt you, misunderstand you, criticize you not because you're doing something wrong, but because your light reminds them of what they've left undone. If you live your life seeking their approval, you'll spend every day editing yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown. You'll dim your light so others can feel comfortable in your presence, and in doing so, you'll betray your own greatness. There comes a moment when you have to say, I don't need them to agree with me. I don't need them to see what I see. I know who I am. That's the moment your life begins to change, because when you stop chasing validation, you start attracting respect. When you stop begging to be seen, you start shining naturally. The most powerful thing you can do is stand firm in your truth, even when no one else claps for you. The world respects authenticity, even if it takes time to recognize it. Every visionary, every pioneer, every world changer was once laughed at, doubted, or dismissed. They were told their dreams were too big, their ideas too unrealistic. But they didn't wait for permission. They gave themselves permission to try, to fail, to rise again. The same power lies in you. You don't need someone else to agree with your dream for it to be valid. You don't need the world's stamp of approval to start. You just need the courage to take ownership of your own belief. You will never be free as long as your self-worth depends on external validation. Freedom begins when you no longer need anyone to tell you that you're worthy. It begins when you trust your own voice more than the noise around you. You already have everything you need within you to build, to create, to rise, to succeed. Don't let doubt from others become a prison that holds you back. You are the author of your own story, and no one else has the right to hold the pen. The truth is, people may never fully understand your path, and that's okay. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you, so stop waiting for applause. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for someone to give you the green light. You are the green light. You are the validation. You are the permission. The moment you realize that, you stop asking and you start becoming. Comfort kills growth. Embrace discomfort to unlock your true potential. We all crave comfort because it feels safe, predictable, familiar. It's the place where nothing threatens us, where everything feels under control. But comfort is also the place where dreams go to die, where potential remains buried, where greatness is traded for mediocrity. Growth never happens in comfort. Growth happens when you step into the unknown, when you stretch yourself beyond what's easy, when you face fear and decide to move anyway. The path to your next level will never be comfortable, and that's exactly how you'll know you're on the right track. Every time you feel discomfort, you're being invited to evolve. That tightness in your chest before taking a risk, that uncertainty before a big decision, that uneasiness before stepping on stage, those are not signs you're failing. They're signs you're growing. The body resists change, the mind resists risk, but the soul thrives on expansion. You were not created to live within the boundaries of safety. You were created to explore, to expand, to evolve. Comfort convinces you to stay small. It whispers, you're fine where you are. But fine is not the same as fulfilled. Fine is the silent killer of potential. Every person you admire, every leader, every achiever, every innovator, they all had to step out of comfort. They all had to face fear. They all had to do things that scared them. They didn't wait to feel ready. They acted while uncomfortable. Because success doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from what's necessary. And what's necessary is usually what most people avoid. You can't transform your life while staying loyal to your comfort zone. You can't reach new heights while clinging to the same habits, same thoughts, same routines that kept you where you are. Think about the gym. Muscles grow through resistance. Without tension, there's no strength. Without struggle, there's no progress. Life works the same way. The resistance you feel when you're trying to grow is the very pressure that builds your strength. That rejection that hurt you, it built your resilience. That failure that embarrassed you, it refined your strategy. That challenge that scared you, it revealed your courage. Discomfort isn't punishment, it's training. It's preparing you for the bigger stages, the harder battles, the greater blessings. But here's the trap. Comfort is seductive. It makes you believe that staying where you are is easier than risking something new. It tells you that uncertainty is dangerous, that trying again isn't worth it. It convinces you to settle for less love, less passion, less purpose. And once you settle, you slowly forget that you were made for more. You lose the hunger, the drive, the fire that once burned inside you. You begin to exist instead of live. That's the quiet tragedy of comfort. It doesn't destroy you suddenly. It slowly drains your spirit until you stop fighting for what's possible. But discomfort is different. Discomfort wakes you up. It shakes your spirit. It forces you to confront your fears and find out what you're really made of. When you're uncomfortable, you're alive. When you're uncomfortable, you're learning. When you're uncomfortable, you're growing into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. The moments that scare you the most are often the ones that define you the most. That's where transformation happens, not in the ease, but in the effort. You have to make peace with being uncomfortable. You have to learn to walk with uncertainty, to embrace risk, to accept failure as part of the process. Because every time you do, you expand your limits. What once terrified you becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes your new standard. The comfort zone doesn't disappear. It just expands every time you step beyond it. That's how confidence is built, not through avoiding fear, but through facing it again and again until it loses power over you. Discomfort is not a sign to turn back. It's a sign you're moving forward. It means you're growing beyond what's familiar, stepping closer to who you're meant to be. Don't chase what's easy, chase what's meaningful. Don't pray for a smooth road, pray for the strength to walk the rough one. The life you dream about is waiting for you just beyond the edge of comfort. But you'll never reach it if you keep choosing safety over growth. The question is not whether you're capable, it's whether you're willing to get uncomfortable long enough to become unstoppable. Your past does not define you, your decision to rise again does. Every mistake, every heartbreak, every failure you've ever faced may have shaped you, but it does not have the power to define who you become unless you allow it to. Too many people live as prisoners of their past, chained to old pain, guilt, and regret, believing that because they fell once, they are not worthy of standing again. But the truth is, your past is not a life sentence, it's a lesson. What happened to you, what you've done, what you've lost, it was never meant to be your identity. It was meant to prepare you for the version of yourself that could rise stronger, wiser, and more courageous than before. You've made mistakes, yes. You've failed, yes. But failure is not final unless you stop trying. Every setback carries within it the seed of a comeback. Every ending is just the beginning of something new. The greatest stories in history are not about people who never fell, they're about people who refused to stay down. You see, your scars are not signs of shame. They're symbols of survival. They tell the world that you've been through darkness and still found the strength to walk back into the light. That resilience, that fire, that will to keep going despite the pain, that's what defines you. The past can be a teacher, but it should never be your master. When you keep replaying your old failures, your old wounds, your old disappointments, you rob yourself of the power of the present moment. You cannot move forward if you're always looking back. You can't heal while you're still holding on to what hurt you. There comes a point where you must say, yes, that happened, but it's not who I am anymore. You must learn to forgive yourself, not because you're excusing the past, but because you deserve peace. You deserve the freedom that comes when you stop punishing yourself for who you used to be. We all have a story that tried to break us. Maybe you trusted someone who betrayed you. Maybe you failed at something you gave your all to. Maybe you've been rejected, abandoned, or overlooked. Whatever it was meant to grow you. It was meant to teach you strength, compassion, and self-worth. You are not defined by the pain that happened to you. You are defined by how you responded to it. You may not be able to change your past, but you can always change your response to it. You can choose to rise, to rebuild, to rewrite your narrative with courage and grace. The most dangerous lie you can believe is that your past disqualifies you from greatness. It doesn't. In fact, your pain can become your power if you let it. Your story can become someone else's survival guide. The things you've been through have given you a perspective, a wisdom, and a depth that no easy life could ever offer. Every tear, every scar, every fall, they've all shaped the heart that beats inside you now, the one that refuses to quit. You didn't go through all that just to stop here. You went through it so you could rise higher than ever before. You are not the same person you were back then. You've grown, you've evolved, you've learned. The mistakes that once haunted you have turned into lessons that now guide you. The people who once hurt you have shown you how to love yourself better. The moments that once broke you have built strength in places you never knew existed. Every part of your past, the good, the bad, the painful, has contributed to the incredible resilience you carry today. So when you think about your past, don't see it as something to hide from. See it as proof that you can survive anything. You've already overcome more than most people know. You've endured storms that others couldn't see. You've been in darkness and still found light. That means you are powerful beyond measure. The past was a chapter, not the whole book. The next chapter is waiting, and it's written by your choices, not your history. Your decision to rise again, to keep believing, to keep fighting, to keep moving, is what defines you now. There comes a moment when you realize that everything you've been through, every failure, every disappointment, every sleepless night, wasn't wasted. It was shaping you, molding you, preparing you for the life you were meant to live. You've been tested, stretched, and refined, not to destroy you, but to awaken the power within you that has been waiting far too long. The truth is, everything you need to become unstoppable is already inside you. You don't need to wait for a sign. You don't need to wait for the right time. You just need to decide that now is your time. The world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards action. It rewards faith. It rewards those who dare to step into the unknown, even when fear whispers that they shouldn't. Every breakthrough begins with a decision, the decision to no longer be ruled by fear, by comfort, by the opinions of others, or by the failures of yesterday. The moment you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, your life begins to transform. Because power doesn't come from waiting, it comes from choosing. Choosing to move forward even when it's uncomfortable. Choosing to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Choosing to rise again and again, no matter how many times you've fallen. 2026 could be the year everything changes for you, not because the calendar shifts, but because you do. It could be the year you stop living small, the year you stop apologizing for your dreams, the year you stop hiding behind fear and finally step into the fullness of who you are. There's a fire inside you that life has tried to dim, but it's still there, burning quietly beneath the surface, waiting for you to give it air. All it takes is one decision, the decision to light it again, to believe again, to fight again. This is your reminder that your past has no power over your future unless you let it. The pain you felt was not wasted. It was part of your preparation. The rejection, the loss, the heartbreak, all of it was training you to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Life was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be meaningful. Every obstacle you've faced has been a part of your preparation for this next chapter. You've already survived so much. Imagine what you could do if you stopped doubting your own strength. The time for hesitation is over. The time for waiting is over. You've spent enough of your life playing small, hiding your brilliance, silencing your voice. Now is the moment to rise, to take control, to become everything you are meant to be. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too far behind. You are right on time. This is your season, your moment, your year to become unstoppable. Because when you finally decide to believe in yourself truly, completely, relentlessly, there is nothing in this world that can stop you.